Hey everybody, Thomas Joseph here with another kitchen conundrum. Now today we are tackling grilled shrimp. I'm going to share with you all of the tips and tricks you need for success. So let's get started. Shrimp, a little bit confusing. You might not know what you're looking for when you're at the grocery store, but here's a little guide for you. Now this recipe is calling for jumbo shrimp. So jumbo shrimp, what does that mean? Well, you might see these little numbers on the little card that's next to the shrimp or the seafood in your supermarket, and jumbo shrimp are typically sold by the piece. So you're looking for about 16 to 25 of these shrimp per pound, and that's how you know that you're gonna have a jumbo shrimp. Now, sometimes if you're lucky enough to find colossal shrimp, that would be 15 or less per pound. So the numbers kind of go down the larger the shrimp is. There's also large shrimp. I have some examples here for you. This is about 26 to 40 per pound. So you can see they're noticeably smaller. 36 to 50 per pound would be medium shrimp. And then anything beyond that, you would get more shrimp per pound, so 50 plus per pound. Now, there's also different types or varieties of shrimp that are available in the marketplace. This version I have here is a brown shrimp, and I also have some white shrimp. The white shrimp, if you can find it, is noticeably sweeter, so I would recommend this if you can find it. Now, sustainability is always really important for us here at the Martha Stewart Test Kitchen. So if you can, check out the Monterey Bay Seafood Watch. It's a great app that tells you what types of seafood you should be buying during a specific season. So if you're confused and you don't know what to buy, should you buy wild or farmed, that app will tell you what the best choice is for that given time. Now, to start, I'm going to devein this shrimp. Now, most recipes call for peeled and deveined shrimp, so I'm gonna give you a little bit of a guide as to how you can do that. So if your recipe did call for peeled and deveined, what you're gonna do is flip the shrimp over, and you're basically gonna take your thumb and you're gonna pull to one side. So right down the middle of the shrimp here on the underside, you're gonna pull the shell away from the meat of the shrimp. And you just pull and kind of rotate around, and it's pretty easy. There's really no fuss or muss to it. And then taking a paring knife, you glide the paring knife down the back of the shrimp. You wanna go down about, I would say, 1/4 of an inch. And then you should be able to, and sometimes there is and sometimes there isn't, see a black vein down the back of the shrimp. And all you need to do is, with your paring knife, you can easily kind of pull it up and away and discard it, and then you have a beautifully peeled and deveined shrimp. Now, this recipe calls for shell-on shrimp, but you do have to devein them. So a trick here, take a small pair of scissors, and you're just gonna go right down the back of the shell. And the reason we're keeping the shell on is because the shell contributes a lot of really great flavor to this dish, and it also protects the meat of the shrimp from the high heat of the grill. So that's what we're gonna be doing today in this specific recipe. So you can do the same sort of process here where you peel back the shell slightly. You should be able to see the exposed vein. You can see it there. Take your paring knife and you can just really gently coax it out and pull it away from the shrimp. And there you go, you have a deveined shrimp, shell on. So I'm gonna repeat the process with the rest of the shrimp here, and then we're gonna start our marinade. Now, to get started on the marinade, we're using a flavorful group of ingredients here. So I have 3 tablespoons of chopped parsley. I'm just gonna toss this right in the bowl. 3 tablespoons of chopped cilantro. If you're not a fan of cilantro, you could certainly sub this out with another herb. Even tarragon would be really great. I have a tablespoon of chopped garlic, and that's from about 2 cloves. I would say 2 large cloves, maybe even 3 cloves of garlic. And then a tablespoon of chopped jalapeno. Last but not least, lemon. So I love lemon. I always tell you guys to add lemon zest whenever you're adding juice to a recipe, and lemon zest has this really pungent, fresh flavor that's gonna cut through kind of the smokiness that the grill is going to give to these shrimp. So I need about a tablespoon of finely grated lemon zest, and I would say it's probably from this entire lemon here. Now, when you're at the grocery store and you're buying citrus, you always wanna make sure that the citrus itself feels heavy for its size. That's how you know there's a lot of juice inside the lemon. And you should be able to give it a squeeze, and it should give a little bit with your thumb. And that's how you know that the pith, that white layer, isn't too thick and that you'll have a nice juicy lemon in the end. So a few tips there when you're buying lemons at the supermarket. So lemon zest, and then 1/3 cup of olive oil. So all of my ingredients, they're right here in with the shrimp. I'm actually going to transfer this. You could leave it in the bowl or you could transfer it to a resealable plastic bag. And the benefit, I would say, to using one of these bags is you can really remove all of the air, and the shrimp will be completely covered and coated in this marinade, and you'll get even more flavor in the end. So I'm just gonna dump this in, and then this needs to refrigerate, I would say, for a few hours. Overnight is fabulous as well. Squeeze out the air, zip it up, and then this goes into the refrigerator up to overnight. All right, so the shrimp have been in the refrigerator overnight, and now it is time to grill them. Now, a good thing here, it's always useful whenever you're cooking proteins, whether it's fish, shellfish, chicken, anything, beef, you want to make sure that it's not icy cold before it goes onto the grill or onto your, roasting pan. You want to make sure it has a little bit of time to kind of warm up on your kitchen counter so that it cooks nice and evenly, because ultimately, if it's icy cold when you put it on the heat, the outside of whatever you're cooking is going to overcook and the inside is going to be underdone. I have some wooden skewers here that I've been soaking for about 30 minutes, and this is actually something that you guys need to do, especially if you're grilling outside on your barbecue, right? You want to make sure that you soak the wooden skewers so that they don't burn or burn too much, because they're going to get a little singed. Now, I'm going to thread these shrimp on the skewers, and I'm just going to do 2 per skewer, but really this is up to you. If you wanted to make fewer skewers and put more shrimp on it, you're more than welcome to do that. But I like to go through the back end of the shrimp and spear the shrimp in 2 places, and this kind of helps to secure the shrimp to the skewer without it rotating around. So just for presentation purposes, I'm gonna kind of alternate how I put them on the skewer. It's pretty that way, right? So 2 shrimp per skewer, keep going, and then we'll be ready to grill. Now, if you are grilling outside, this recipe is actually meant for an outdoor grill. So if you are doing this outside, I would recommend that you set your grill up on indirect heat. And indirect heat, if you guys are unfamiliar with that term, what it means is that you're going to have an area of your grill that's a little bit cooler. So if you have a gas grill, what I would recommend is that you turn on the 2 outer burners and you leave the center burner off, and that's where you're gonna cook your shrimp. So it's a little bit cooler, a little bit more regulated, and that's really important when you're cooking seafood, especially shellfish that's quite delicate. So you're not overcooking your shellfish. So indirect heat is always best. Now, if you have a grill pan like me today, I'm doing this over a moderate heat. So I have this on half heat, which is number 4 for this induction burner, but that would be over medium heat if you have a gas stove or an electric stove. And this grill pan has been lightly brushed with a little bit of oil so that the shrimp do not stick, and that's why it's smoking slightly, but that's really what you're looking for. That's how you know that your pan is nice and hot and you're ready to cook your shrimp. All right, so now it's time to cook the shrimp. Now, a little bit of seasoning. There was no salt in the marinade, so it's important to kind of season at this step. So a little sprinkling of salt all over these guys. And then they're gonna go right on this preheated grill. And I think I should be able to fit maybe about 4 or 5 skewers on this grill pan, but really, depending on the size of your grill that you have, you can fill it up as much as you can. So these are gonna cook for about, I would say, 3 to 5 minutes per side, maybe on this kind of moderate heat. What you're really looking for is a bright kind of pink color on the shell, and the meat itself is gonna be opaque throughout. And that's really what you're looking for to know that your shrimp is fully cooked. Now, you don't wanna cook these too long, otherwise they're gonna turn out really chewy and rubbery. So be mindful and stand by. This isn't gonna take a long time to cook, so just watch and kind of nurture them along in the process here. But I'll give these about 3 minutes and then we'll check them out. All right, so the shrimp, I think they're ready to flip. Now, what you're really looking for again is that nice pink color, and these are getting a nice little golden brown hue to them, and that's from all of the marinade that's still kind of stuck onto the shell, and that's great. It actually smells really delicious in here. So flip these over, and again, they're gonna cook for about maybe 2 to 3 minutes on the other side. Again, opaque throughout, so if you're nervous, you can definitely take a paring knife or something like that and check the inside of the shrimp to make sure that it's white throughout, but these really won't take much time at all. Now, I like to serve these with a little bit of the flavor that's included in them, right, in the marinade. So if you have any extra lemons, just kind of cut them up into wedges and you can serve them alongside. Now, shrimp, unless you're eating kind of shrimp cocktail or something like that, you really want to eat these nice and hot. So make sure that everybody's ready and bring these right over to the table and they will be absolutely delicious. So a few more minutes and then we'll be ready to pull them off the grill. All right, shrimp look good. Time to take them off the grill. Now, serve these right away, stack them up, give them a squeeze of lemon, a little bit extra salt if you like, and there you go. You have beautifully cooked, really flavorful shrimp. No rubbery shrimp, I promise you, if you follow those tips and tricks. Now, as always, guys, if you have any kitchen conundrums, please reach out to us using the hashtag Kitchen Conundrums. We'd love to hear from you, and we'd love to solve your kitchen problems. Enjoy, guys.